Hello, traders and investors. This is Modified Darvas Box, MDB, the weekend trader, as I now refer to myself. And I decided it's time to do my first video since the beginning of August because there hasn't been much going on until recently. And I was going to do a video last week, but my TC2000, I guess they did a weekend maintenance or something, and so the program was down for a little bit, so I didn't get a chance. So, anyways, I thought that this would be a good time to do a video, and there's things to talk about. Many times people push out content and stuff, and there's really nothing to talk about, so it's just blah blah blah. And as a signals trader, sometimes there's just no signals, so nothing to talk about. But in this case, we got some good things that we can cover. Okay, for anybody new who's never watched one of my videos, I'm an independent trader, investor. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. I started trading in the mid 1990s. My strategy has evolved. I started as a can slim trader. William O'Neill IBD, and then I gravitated to be a Darvas trader. Based my strategy on the book How I Made $2 Million by Nicholas Darvas, and then over time I've evolved to have those Darvas principles, but then I also added elements of the strategies as well. So I've created a pretty unique strategy, and you can see here on the screen here, my program is TC2000. It's a wonderful program. I couldn't live without it, in my opinion. And if you've read the book by Nicholas Darvas, you understand about boxes and box ranges and things like that. Basically, there's only 3 states of the market: bullish, bearish, and sideways. That's it. And by putting visuals on that, we can help interpret the market action better. And that's what this game's all about. It's all about interpretation, so you can make high probability decisions. You ever found yourself watching live quotes going, should I buy it here? Should I not buy it here? Well, man, you're just random gambling because you don't have a signal. Wait for the market to show you a signal. Signals are on the chart and also associated with volume. That's it. That's all you got to do. So hopefully you'll learn something from this one. I've got different watch lists, which I use. We're going to look at the top 4, but usually I've got a few more. And I always start with indexes so we can get the big picture, what's going on. All right, so let's get into it. And by the way, you'll notice that my charts have colors on them. Colors mean different things. So these gray ones are inside bars. Inside bars are 50-50. This is not the best example. Inside bars are 50-50. Pink bars are warning signals right here. Yellow bars are very bullish signals right there. Blue are the opposite of the pinks. Bullish, but there might be a tinge of, well, maybe. And then you get these orange bars here, which are hammers and shooters. Hammers are bullish, like that is, and shooters are the opposite, like right here. My great examples have faded over time because, the market marches onward. So let's get into it. What time is it? It's 11:20 here on Saturday, the 18th. Okay, so first one, the AMZ, MLP Index. We've got a lovely uptrend here, but what's happened to it? The trend is beginning to bend. And I've got a separate income portfolio where it pays me dividends and monthly and quarterly income, which as a trader should be one of your goals, because to get regular income sources is the key, whether it's a job, whether it's from dividends and interest, or like so many traders do, they start Discord rooms and sell subscription services, anything to get that regular stream of income. Because trading is very difficult if you're a full-time trader if you're simply relying on capital gains to pay your bills. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. I've done it 3 times in my career. It's better to have streams of income and then do this as a side thing. Uh, but right here we see the AMZ. It's beginning to struggle a little bit. And yeah, it had a box breakdown. Now, is it crashing? No, it's not. But this is the importance also of multiple time frames. Is your time frame going to be a daily chart? Ugh. Is it going to be 2 days, weekly? My core is weekly. Are you going to look at this on monthly views? And I've got different setups for monthly views. On a monthly view, this looks fine. And by the way, I don't really use moving averages. I do use one, and basically I use it as a red light, green light. Any prices below, I code red. Any prices above, I code green. This monthly chart looks okay, but yeah, as we see, it's bending a little bit, but my core is weekly, and to me, it looks okay. Oh, got to change this back to the correct time frame there. All right, so enough talk about that one. Let's look at ARK, Kathy Wood. So we've made fun of Kathy Wood for many, many, many months and years now, but Kathy Wood's making money here, and if Kathy Wood's making money, then all of us should be making money. And who knows? Maybe she might turn out to have great ideas, but boy, she's sure whiffed on stuff. But again, it's a good example of colors. And look at this bull market. This bull market really took off here in May. Well, the tariff tantrum right here is where it bottomed. You had a 50-50 signal here. Where's your buy signal? Right there, the reaction to it. So that's how signals work. I got a signal right here. What am I going to do? The next bar, which is the reaction. Well, if you see that signal, you're buying right when price hits up there. And what a great spot. You're buying right there. What a great spot. If you bought there, man, you've been sitting on your butt and banking the whole time. That's the whole point of signals, is to get you into trends early so then you can sit and hold. If you missed that buy there, you had the yellow bar signal emphasizing it right here. And you see, this is all about interpretation. And then ever since then, it's just been, don't do anything. Sit on your butt. Don't do it. Don't trade. No need to. Let's look here. Oil. Oil's been on a gentle downward slope, but look at this. It's like if we look at that going down, slowly down, it tried to break out here and then got pushed back here. Oil can be a tell on economic activity, but that looks kind of benign. Sideways. So we got real economy, and then we got the AI electronic. I don't want to show you this. These ones here are CLO indexes because I've been taking an interest and I'm watching them, but they're not relevant to this. The NASDAQ. Here's that bottom on the Trump tariff tantrum. There's that inside bar. Time to buy right here. Hey, if you missed it, yeah, you got the big signal right here. And we've had one pink bar warning signal here with a benign reaction. And now this one here, which got people a little panicked, benign reaction, along with bigger volume. You see, it's not the signal, it's the reaction to the signal that's important. And that's a pretty benign reaction. Should you have panicked here? No. You got to let the signal develop and actually give you a signal. And on a weekly time frame, your signal's on a Friday. So there it is, benign. Sit, don't do anything. This is Ethereum. Now this is the opposite. There's a Darvas box breakdown. It formed a box, sideways box. It broke out here, which I should have that circled. Why I did not, I forgot. So it broke out right there. Volume came in. Yeah, man, everybody's buying Ethereum. Well, it then ran into problems and chop, chop, chop. And now look at that sell signal right there, along with get us out. Does that mean it's over? No. But if you're a trader, That means you're buying in here and you're selling somewhere in here. I would have probably targeted the bottom of the box, or you're either out here. You probably would have panicked out at the gap down right here, but either way, you would have made from 20, call it 22, to call it maybe 35. Yeah, 50%. That's a good trade. Better than a sharp stick in the eye. FFTY. This is a growth related index. And yeah, there it is, Trump tariff. There's that big signal. Notice how all the charts seem to have the same signal. That's when everything turned. And ever since then, we've just been sitting long and doing nothing. Now, this one showed a pink bar a little earlier, growth stocks, a benign reaction, an attempted breakout, but notice how it went up and then down. That's a bearish shooter bar. But then the reaction to that, prices keep going higher. Got up and then pushed back down. Man, it's just such a strong bull market. Wow. But there's been some selling in here, but man, it's like they can't stay down. They just want it. It's just a heck of a bull market. You guys are so lucky and privileged to have this. It reminds me of the 1990s internet bubble, which I traded and I was a part of. Did I understand everything that was going on then? No, I was early in my trading career. But you guys have been, modern investors, contemporary investors have had such good markets. Ugh, just feel lucky and blessed. And it's a tribute to, the capitalist system. As hedge fund manager Jim Ropel says, the golden goose of capitalism. This year, China. I like how he says China. You had a pink bar signal, benign reaction, moved higher. There's a little mini shooter bar. Keeps going up a little bit, but notice how it didn't close above it and then thunk, but the reaction again. There's just bullishness everywhere in the world at the moment. Do I want to buy China? No, but we're in the business of chart interpretation in order to make investing and trading decisions that work and pay us money. Gold, lovely trend. Look at that. Box breakout, a little bit of trouble. You could have taken money off, waited for the box to develop, bought it here again. Keeps going. Another sideways, breakout again. Look at that. Now, the only thing I'm seeing here, which is a little concerning, the volume. People are finally buying gold in size right here. And let me tell you, the chasers, the ones who watch this whole trend go, and now they're finally buying gold. Yeah, these chasers get punished. Chasers get punished. And if you've been trading long enough, you know how true that is. And look at that. Now, on the monthly, is that any kind of signal on the monthly? Well, it's kind of muted here. So my expectation is that this probably will take a break. But is this bull market in gold over? Hell no. That's my interpretation. Let's look at this back on monthly again. For any can slim aficionados, this here is a cup and handle formation right in there. So with a bit of a delayed breakout here in the handle, but look at that. Why should it stop now? But yeah, I expect gold to keep going. But definitely some of these chasers are going to get cooked. So if you chased, well, best of luck to you. High yield, okay. High yield junk bonds are always a good thing to keep an eye on. Trump, tantrum, junk didn't really go anywhere and high yield is great for measuring the real economy and the state of credit because, man, when things go bad, junk gets destroyed. It's very sensitive to it. And I was a little concerned at this white bar sell signal, but look at the reaction. Boom. No, man. Junk is doing great. Companies are fine. You're overreacting. You see that? Red sell. Bigger green. Man, they just want it. They're telling the buyers in this bar are telling the buyers in this one that they overreacted and are wrong. So that's a good sign for the economy. What do we got here? Insurance. Insurance, those bastards. This isn't doing so well here, but overall, the pattern is sideways. What's going on in car insurance? You know, uh, at some point, if insurance gets too expensive, people stop buying it. And I suspect that's what's happening in this chart. I mean, I don't know. I don't work in insurance industry. I can't prove anything, but it's sort of a gut feeling. But look at the monthly. What a trend here. But it looks like maybe at moment the industry is sort of going flat. But keep an eye on it. If it breaks out upwards, might be a good long-term portfolio investment. But at the moment, it's in limbo. Is it going to break downwards? Uh-oh, well, if it does, we don't want it there. Notice the big white bar drop here, but then it's sort of recovered and been going sideways. So, IBIT or Bitcoin proxy, woo, struggling here. White bar sells signal and a box breakdown and 2 big weeks of red selling. Something's going on. I don't know what. And I know all those leverage traders got wiped out. But what comes after? At the moment, I'd suspect that this might go down more, but we need more signals. If I was long this, I would have sold this week. See, there's that yellow bar signal. And actually, I mean, I probably would have, yeah, probably would have sold this week because again, we're looking for signals. We're not just going off of newspaper headlines or gut feelings or anything. Let the chart tell you, because 3 weeks ago the chart was breaking out right here. Let's look at the daily. See right here, you had a yellow bar breakout right there. If you're trading on daily time frames, it's going up, boom, boom, boom. This here at inside bar, that would have probably given you some caution. Like, what the hell? Because you put a little signal trigger along the bottom. But again, if I was getting a little nervous, I might have put a stop there. Like if you buy it here or buy here, yeah, you definitely want to stop there. You don't want to lose money. I mean, that's the key. Don't lose money. So uh, from right here to here, that's a big swing. Software. If AI is going to eat software, man, this might be a great short, but look at that pink bar signal, kind of a benign reaction. It had a breakout here, but on no volume. Where's the volume? So this may have moved up with the market because there's money sloshing around, but this is not strong. I would not call this strong at all. In fact, if I run a long short portfolio, there are software companies that I think are shorts, good long-term shorts. And the shorts balance the longs because you reduce your overall volatility. When you're 100% long, then you're subject to any bad day and your portfolio swinging all over the place. By putting some tactical shorts to help balance that out, you can ride red days down much easier. Are your green up days as huge? No, but you sleep better with that kind of setup. And if you interpret the charts right, you can find shorts that will balance them. And by the way, shorts are not looking for it to go from here to zero. If you get 20% out of a short hedge, that's wonderful. 20% is a great number. If you get more than that, it's just gravy. But 20% is a good number. What do we got? We got housing. Housing had a nice rise here, but then apparently rates didn't get cut and mortgage rates are still high. And so the reality of the housing market is that it's not as rosy. And look, this bump here got taken away right there. And now we got a white bar sell signal. This is actually building a box. I've drawn it a tad prematurely, but I think that's probably what it's going to look like. But it went from bullish to, yeah, maybe not. And you see the red here and there's no green. Yeah. Housing was optimistic and then, yeah, no thanks. What is this? Microcaps. Bearish shooter bar right there on microcaps, something to keep an eye on. Look at this lovely trend, and that may cap it off. But here's the thing. That's a signal. We need the reaction to the signal next week to tell us whether this is going to be valid or not. So keep an eye on it. IWM, pink bar like everything else, and all it did was create a bearish shooter bar. So yeah, we might get some volatility this next week, but those are minor compared to the major indexes. So we'll see. Healthcare breakout here. That's bullish, probably because you know things may be improving with United Health and all that, even though they're a bunch of bastards. Health insurance is still a wild thing, but when we look at the big picture, let's go to monthly. On the big picture, you had a lot of volatility in healthcare, but now maybe it's firming up. Maybe the problems in healthcare are firming up, and now maybe healthcare is going to do better. If you're running portfolios like on ETFs, things like that, you might want to consider IYH now. Like it would have been a terrible buy all during the last year, but now recently things might be changing. Transports tried to break out, and look at that, came right back into the box. QQQs, same deal, uptrend. Here's where it changed. Here's your confirmation. A warning shot, nah, no big deal right there. A warning shot at the moment, no big deal. Look at that. Red here followed by bigger green volume. Man, bullish investors like, come on, man, you got to do better than that. Look at here, RSP. Not as bullish as technology, but you had a breakout, a big volatility whoosh, and now the reaction. Inside bar 50-50, but still going sideways, but a nice green combo. And a word on volume combos. This is an insider trick. This will tell you what the true state of your trade is. A big red followed by a big green, that's bullish. If it's, let's find green here followed by bigger red, that's bearish. It means, when you see that, it means lower your expectations. This here tells me to increase my expectations. Actually, QQQ told you to increase your, see right here? This tells you to increase your expectations higher. Like, damn, that did better than I expected. You know, maybe I should be more bullish rather than less. RTH, retail, yeah, it keeps moving up. Consumers keep buying. What do we got? The SHI interest rates. Okay, when SHI goes up, rates go down. When SHI goes down, rates go up. So rates are slowly keep crawling, crawling lower. If we look here at interest rates, the 10-year is now at 4%. Wow. That's interest rates getting lower is going to help home buyers. It's going to help people financing. It's going to help car buyers. We don't want rates too low, but rates in the 3%, yeah, that works. We want healthy and not crazy. But the Fed is, they don't know what they're doing. They always screw up, so we'll see. Semiconductors, higher. Look at that. The big sideways box, you could interpret that as a base. The shakeout down here. And again, the volume. Oh, man, we're panicking out, baby. We're panicking. And then these guys, no, man, your research sucks. You got to be buying. And look how big they bought. Ever since then, that was the right decision. Don't tell me the market is dumb. The market is incredibly smart. The trick is interpreting what you should do. And there's an interpretation right there. Remember? raise your expectations when you see that sequence. The expectations were, man, I don't know, I'm bearish. And then the bullish people came in and said, you don't know what you're talking about. We're getting massively bullish, and we're going to write a big check. Ever since then, it was at 200. Now it's at 342. Amazing. There's the S&P 500. Yeah, there's that sequence. Pink warning, benign reaction. Pink warning, benign reaction. Volume wasn't as much, but I went to SPY on that. SPY's had a much better reaction there. Raise your expectations going forward. Hard to believe we need to become more bullish. Okay, sentiment, T2106. We hit a low last week. Always good for a rebound. And we did rebound into that benign reaction. So, yeah, sentiment's in the dumps, but that doesn't mean prices are in the dumps. T2107 above the 200-day. Yeah, came down a little, but that's still pretty benign. 47% above the 200-day. Not bad. As opposed to the Trump, the tariff tantrum, where that was just an incredible buying right there. All these indicators, man, they all come together at the right times. Stocks above the 40-day. Yeah, this one shows how the sentiment went down in the dumps, but it didn't hit the incredible low buying areas. Solar, the TANs. I don't know what the deal is with this one. I think solar's just a waste, but yeah, man, it's gone bullish. Although this here is a bearish shooter bar, so we'll see what happens. TLT bonds. Look where bonds started changing. Yellow bar buy signal there. A month of, I don't think so. And then, boom, it hit it again. Moved up. The skepticism on the pink right there. And then a benign reaction. And now look, it just keeps moving higher. And that corresponds with that 10-year rate, 20-year rate. Interest rates are coming down. Bonds are bullish, which is odd. Let's look at the monthly view. Look at that. Could bonds be on the verge of a major turnaround? See that? See the moving average right there? If a bond bull market comes up, should we expect rates to go a lot lower? Maybe 3%? Wow, that would change things for this economy. That would turbocharge this economy. Maybe. Should we be more bullish or less bullish? I'm thinking more. The VIX. Had a Darvas box breakout there. There's that fear. And then look at that. It went all the way up to here. And by the way, you should only buy VIX options or whatever if you think you're going to panic or you have a signal. There's that inside bar signal. You would have been buying here. And you got to move fast because it went to 17 up to 28 and then gave it right back. If the VIX, this green line, if the VIX goes above 40, just frickin' buy. Just frickin' buy. If you look at history, anything above 40, here, just frickin' buy it. Don't matter. What do we got here? The commercial real estate, VNQ. Look at that reaction. Scary selling, followed by, it made it all back. Now, there's no volume there, and it's in a gigantic Darvas box here. But that's REITs and stuff like that. So, if you're looking for income, yeah, okay. Oil and gas, XLE, just a impossible sector. But I keep an eye on it. Financials keep marching higher. But you see this box right here. This box right here, it sort of failed the box. Nothing spectacular, but this is levered to interest rates. If interest rates are going down, banks make less money. If interest rates go down, banks make less money. That's all there is to it. When bonds are yielding 6-7%, financials print cash. When bonds are at like 2%, whatever, man, it's much harder for financials to make money. And then they got to take on huge leverage, and then they become risky. and they blow up. XLU utilities. There's the big sideways box here, another box here, and keeps going up. Power for AI. There's that signal, the starting gun here. Did I buy it? Of course not. I didn't know that AI needs electricity. I don't know these things. But the market is smart. Look at that. Somebody knew. So that's indexes. Let's go next to how we're doing on time. Yeah, I'm probably taking too much time talking because I haven't done a video in a long time. All right. So this list is big volume textbook box breakout leaders. This is the ones that match the Darvas formula to a T. So you had AMD here. It was going down all in here, and then something changed down here. I actually shorted AMD and made some money shorting it. And then I noticed the turn. Look at the green volume start to change. A yellow bar signal. I bought AMD here and I sold it here. And then I let it go sideways and then boom. Look at that. Got that big headline and just took off. Now, should we be buying AMD here? Probably yes, but man, that's a tough one. You gotta figure out your spot. Maybe you're a buyer at 240. But AMD is worth what? 300, 400 billion dollars? Is AMD going to double, triple? Maybe. But we're here not to lose money. So in this case, I'd probably zoom out here. You had a buy signal here, inside, and then the trigger right there. But then it just came right back down. Then it's set up again with another one here. Maybe number 2 was the money one to get in at 223. Now it's only $10 higher, so you could give it a try, but the whole point is to try and buy and not lose money. So, but look at that. That is definitely bullish. APP starting to form a box here. It went higher on the breakout, went up, ran into some trouble. Technically, this is still in an uptrend. Notice there's no huge red volume, even though it had a bad week. But this will probably form a box. I'll probably take this off the list next week. After minimum for a box is 3 weeks, in my opinion. So it's there. ASTS box breakout here, yellow signal, another box breakout here. I was a buyer right there, and now I'm a little concerned because that is a bearish shooter bar. The way I'm going to handle it, I'm going to put a stop loss somewhere down here, probably at 80 or 81. And, you know, I'll make like, decent amount. If it triggers, if the bull market continues and it gaps higher, then I won't do anything and it won't trigger and I'll stay long. See, all the decisions are made on the weekend. You don't need to be making decisions during the week. So that's how I'll do it, I hit this one almost perfect. I'd like it to go higher, but, we'll see. Make a minimum of like, what, 50%? That's pretty decent. Bill here, you had a big breakout here, although this is not a primary one because this one's now more on the low end, but it fits the pattern. Caterpillar. Is Cat going to be getting into making robots and stuff, robotic farm equipment, making Terminators? Look at that. Textbook Darvas box breakout, moving higher. CEG, power for AI, box breakout, moving higher. Dash had the breakout here, sort of going sideways, but that's still technically a valid Darvas box breakout. Dell Computer, box breakout. What volatility week? Now it's climbing the Bollinger Bands right here, but I would expect Dell to climb higher. General Electric, GE formed a box. It shouldn't be in this list, but it broke out here. Why is my circle not there? And there you go. It's forming a box. So I put these on this list. Watching. Come on, Grail. Huh, it didn't load. Interesting. Let's see if I can trigger this. Well, Grail didn't load, but you can see the box here and the breakout. Boom. Look at that. Should we be buying this? Well, if you bought the box here, yeah, you should totally been looking at it. Um, just looks great. Hood had the box breakout here, moved up. Yeah, it's struggling a little bit, but it's still in an uptrend. LEU, look at that. Volume, volume, volume. Look here, volume, volume, volume. Fantastic move. Granted, it's volatile up here, but let the late chasers, try to find a spot in here. God, what a terrible spots to be trading this. You should be owning it and letting it work itself out. Higher. NBIS, box breakout down here, kind of went, very difficult, but then started getting going. Definitely volatile, but still higher. Qubits, QBTS, lovely base here, box breakout. Lovely base here, box breakout. And I stupidly sold here thinking that was the end for quantum. And look what it did. Reaction. Higher. See, that's me being too smart for my own good. I had to stop and I was going to be like, no, I can do it. But I'm just like, no, man, quantum, it's all coming in. I'll just take the profit now and that'll be a great trade. Gosh, if I just stuck with it, it would have been a lot higher. I was kicking myself on this one all week. See, I'm not perfect. I make dumb decisions. I should have just followed it. Just put a stop on the bottom. It never would have triggered. That's me being dumb. RGTI, that is a negative signal right there. That's a bear shooter bar. Should you have sold RGTI this week? Per rules, no. Wait until it triggers. It goes lower than this, and that'll be your trigger. 43 or so. Because who knows, it might do what Qubits did and gap up and move higher, and then you'll be kicking yourself for selling it. That's how signals trading works. Signal and reaction to signal. Rocket Lab, I still own Rocket Lab from way down here. Keep going, baby. Box breakout. Sitting pretty. This one I've got about 400% gain on. That's how you do it. If you can control your emotions, not make stupid decisions, you can make big money in a bull market. SEI, box breakout. Look at the green volume. That looks awesome. Should you be buying it here? Nah, I much prefer buying it at 30 rather than 50. Shop till you drop. Box breakout. Definitely volatile, but this overall trend is higher. And you had the yellow bar signal right here with the big volume. Snow, box breakout right here. Weird how it came in, but, there's better. And this thing, the UMAC, box breakout here. But look at all the colors, pink bar and this one. Yeah, I had to sell it. I made a smidge. And this one, VRT, box breakout up, so there you go. Some big winners right there. 3 bullish signals. This list is stocks that are going higher, but they didn't have textbook breakouts. Actually, yeah, we're on VRT. So like Apple. Apple had a breakout here. Yeah, that's technically a breakout, but but then it failed it right here on the red. You see how it broke lower? But then this yellow bar signal, boom. A definitive statement by the market that no, Apple should be higher. And that's why it's on list 3 and not list 2. And by the way, it's got an inside bar here. If you are nervous about Apple, put a stop along the low. Somewhere right in there. If it hits, you're out. If it doesn't hit, you stay long. A-Lab, oof. Breakout here, moved higher, and now look how, this is the thing, breakouts that don't match the textbook can be less stable, unstable compared to the others. Sure, it ripped higher, but man, look at it. It's giving chunks, huge chunks back. Not great. In fact, I don't even think I want this on this list anymore. I'll put it back to watching. ANET, box breakout, no volume though. And immediately it encountered red sell volume as seller said, "Nah, man, what are you doing?" But then some buyers came in. It's sort of going up, and then the sellers reasserted themselves. It's kind of saying that they don't think that above 140 it should be there. BE, great trend. Just no box breakout signals. It had the yellow bar signal right here. Great trend though. But yeah, it keeps going higher. Do I want to be a buyer at 111? No. Do I want to be a buyer at 20? Yes. You had the warning signal here, but it gapped up and kept moving higher. If you had sold in this pink thing, man, you'd be regretting it. Berkshire, oh yeah, that's sideways. That shouldn't be here. I had BRK. Uh, Berkshire is a great proxy for the economy. Here we go. Sell H. Box breakout. Where's the volume? See, so it's bullish, but not super duper bullish. I tried it way back in here, and I just couldn't get a good spot. And then it did that again. It broke out, but it's just hard. And now, but anybody who's stuck with it is doing great. My bias is that I shorted it here and covered it here. So yeah, it's a little hard to imagine it when you made money on the downside to then flip and watch it go back, although I should have. But story of my life. Credo, go signal right there. This here is a bullish hammer. You could have flipped out of this off the inside bar right there. Boy, I made a mess of this. You could have done that, but then the market is telling you, no, 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 you should be back into this. We made a mistake. But you only buy this if it goes higher above the bar. Because if the market is tough next week and it gaps downwards and trades down here, you don't want to be buying it because this signal might get overridden. So that's how you got to interpret this stuff. Signal and then watch the reaction. ELF went sideways. This was up and then it's went sideways. Shouldn't be here. Notice how me moving this, the bullish list is getting smaller. It doesn't mean that everything is bullish. It means there's parts of the market that's bullish. Look at that, Google, sideways box. Google looks ready to break out. Should it be on this list? No. Part of it is because I haven't updated some of this. I'm a weekend trader. And the stuff I am long, I'm happy to sit. And the rest of it, I just sort of sit and let it do its thing. IBKR looks good, but a little volatile. No big volume except this big red one. IREN. What kind of signals are these? Bearish. Did I buy this? No, because it didn't really have any massive signals down in here. Maybe in here, but no real structure. It just kept going up. But this here is a bearish shooter bar, and it's been 2 in a row. And with what's going on in Bitcoin, maybe that means it's time to take some money off. Jumia. I just love this one. I traded it so many times, but it just moved up, no real boxes or anything, and now it gave you a bearish shooter bar and activated. If you bought Jumia down in here and you made, tripled your money, take your money out. Some things may be changing for smaller caps. That's a bearish signal. MU looking fantastic. Box breakout there, but where's the volume? Volume came in after, but still moving higher. Looks good. Bullish signal here on the yellow bar on Netflix. Sideways, but a big statement bar there. We'll see what happens. Nvidia, bullish, but where's the big volume here? It's sort of missing it. This here is in danger of having a down week next week and failing the box. Oklo, you've been trading this one? That is a bearish shooter bar. For anybody who's been waiting for a real bearish signal, there it is. Everybody else who shorted it on the way up got creamed. But that's finally putting in a signal. A legit signal. Open created a sideways box. It had this little negative here, started here. One could make a high probability buy at the bottom of the box here at like 7, 6, high 6s. But that doesn't mean it's going to go up. You'd want to look for, lower time frame signals. Are there any signals on the lower time frame? No, except for buying the bottom of the box. That'll be the only signal. Is there any big red volume? No. Sellers are not really selling. So if you think open can go a lot higher, there are worse places to buy than right there. But that's a sideways box, so that comes off the list. That goes into watching. Oscar, yeah, that's bullish higher, but man, look how volatile this is. This isn't impossible. It'll give you ulcers. Pan W, bullish higher, software security, but man, the way it goes up, this is the hardest one to hold. Jesus. Yet the overall trend is higher, but man, buckle your seatbelt. SoFi, sideways box. A negative signal here. It didn't go off. An inside bar signal here. We got volume, so it's finally gone higher, but not easy. TEM, breakout, drop, going up again, drop back. Where's the volume? This is just weak. It goes higher because everybody thinks it should go higher, but the reality is it's not that strong, in my opinion. I wouldn't trade it. URI. Box breakout here, came back in, box breakout again. Volume's low, but this company rents construction equipment. Yeah, times are good. All right, let's look at bearish signals. And then we'll wrap up. Bearish signals here. Well, there's a lot of them, but there's been a lot of change on this one. So we're going to be moving some stuff around. AOI, sideways range, broke out, ended up with a bearish shooter signal. How did it respond? Broke out higher. What a country, what a market. So this should go back to list 3. Bullish. Amazon, bearish. Look at that. You had the huge box, oopsie, oh, darn it. You had the huge box range here. It tried to sort of break out, and the pink signal here went sideways, didn't break out. Then a bearish shooter bar. I was looking for shorts to hedge some of my longs, so I put some on there. It came down. I thought, great. Then it came back up, and I'm like, oh, man. But then the more it went, I'm like, I'm just going to add more at my cost again. And now look, it's going down. I think Amazon's the weakest of the cloud AI, whatever it is. I don't buy stuff on Amazon anymore. It's all full of junk. So I'm interested in that as you see how my interpretation when I'm looking for hedges. Yeah, put Amazon on. It's liquid. It's easy. If something goes wrong, get out of it. But the interpretation, there's your bullish signal. It only went up to the top of the box and then had a huge downward reaction. Sure, some buyers like it, went sideways, but now more red. Definitely not as bullish as other stocks. arm. I put this arm on this list last week because of this bar right here. What did it do? It moved higher. Great. Yet it's the same coloring of the bar, so I'll leave it on here. There's weird issues in the AI world on some companies. Right here, ARQQ, bear shooter bar here. Now I owned a ARQQ. Again, it's another AI like qubits. I sold it. I got smart, and this is one where I pat myself on the back. Yeah, baby, you sold out at the right time. And look at that, I saved about $10, $9 on that. But with qubits right here, boy, did I whiffed on that one. What a difference. And the difference is this had defined bases, boxes, big green volume, very little red selling, another base to launch off of. Whereas ARQQ, much choppier. Sure, it had big green volume, but look, the last big green volume was right here. Then it sort of died down. Did nobody want to buy it after that? So I was a buyer here, sold up in here, buyer here, sold here. Good sequence. Don't revoke my trader card yet. BA, negative box breakdown right here. Oh, I should circle that. And look at BA for Boeing. Pink, pink, pink warnings all over the place. I prefer Airbus. I fly all the time for my job. I prefer Airbus over Boeing. I don't like Boeings. They're too narrow. Airbus is kicking their butt, and I think for a reason. BLDR, they sell wood to housing companies. That doesn't look all that bullish. The Bros, negative box breakdown. I owned it in here. I tried it in here. I bought it in here. I sold it there and haven't touched it since. Kava, look at that. Went up all the time here. I shorted a little here, covered here. I should have shorted it again, but at that point I'm just watched. And look at it did. It really collapsed there. And now you see my one moving average. It's in a crushing downtrend ever since February. That's what happens when you get overvalued and your growth slows down. Costco, sideways. Interesting. You'd think Costco would be continue going higher because look at that lovely trend, but nope. Time to digest those gains. Look at the difference here. Red, green, and here there's a lot more red. Consumers are tapped out. Circle, box breakdown here. Just not a great rebound. For every green, you got a red bar. CoreWeave. So I shorted it here, covered here, shorted again here, covered here, tried it again here, it didn't work, but it's still on my potential radar. You've got another setup here. I am short this one, by the way, but you got another legit signal. I did this one. Remember how I sold the quantums? Well, I slapped some on here because I've already done it two out of three times successfully. But there's actually a legit trigger, an inside bar. The question is now, which way is it going to go? Will I be covering up here at 150 or will I be piling on here at 130? I don't really know. We'll find out next week, maybe. But man, this one up to now was just awesome. CVNA, I'm short this one. Auto finance is a mess. And, lots of people have tried doing it. Boy, it got real volatile here. But I tried it up in here. No, it didn't work. Here's a legit signal. And it came when boxes usually fail. And now it's been working. But I've tried this many times before. And, man, CVNA is just tough. Look at that overall pattern. The huge down and the big up. Just amazing. But yeah, this one I will cover rapidly if it keeps going, because man, it can rip. It's not the biggest position. Deck forming a sideways box. I thought it was breaking down here last week, but no, it recovered a little bit, but who knows? We'll see. But you see here, the signals, chart interpretation. All right, let's wrap and get this going. We're almost done. DOCU looks bad, going down. ENPH, I thought solar was doing good. What a pain trade. And I traded this several times, but again, if you're going to short something, I don't stick with it until it goes into the ground. That could take forever. Take the chunk of money out and leave. Ford Motor was breaking out and then came right back down and then broke out again. That's actually technically a Darvas box breakout, but a really hard one. But it fits the profile. Fly, ugh. Ever since it came trading, down. Came open at 72 and now it's at 26. Ouch. And look at that. Multiple chances to bet against it. Here, on here, and here. But what were these buyers thinking? I don't know. But I will not touch it. The Geo, down. So you see, you can still lose money in this. Galaxy Digital, there's a signal, a bearish shooter bar, which has triggered, by the way. So maybe this comes down to 31. I don't know. We'll find out. GME, bearish. It had this little bullish move and then gave it all back. Bearish. The GUR, just doing nothing. Sure, it had a yellow bar, but the reaction to it was not great. There's a sell signal right there. And now it's going down. I would expect this to go to drop eventually. IonQ, this one did trigger. Isn't it interesting how in the quantums, qubits went higher and everything else went lower? Qubits is a winner. But yeah, I sold my quantum in there and turned out to have been a good sell. So should I have shorted it? Well, yeah, maybe, I guess. But oof. We know about this one. That's a sell signal, potential sell signal. We know about that one. JP Morgan, finance, financials. Gets harder as interest rates go lower. This one, I forget this one, but just look at that. Red. Avoid. Lennar had the white bar. So not everything is perfect in the market. Lemonade. I don't understand the appeal of this one, but Lemonade. Meta. Box breakdown. Look at that. Facebook makes tons of money, but man, they've spent so much. It may take them a while to get it back. Monday. Look at that. That just looks horrible. The big red. Oh, Moderna. I hate Moderna. MSTR. Bitcoin. Do you think MicroStrategy and Bitcoin? That doesn't look so healthy, does it? NME. Look at that. 2 bearish shooters in a row. What's interesting is you get 2 of these signals in a row, and yet it hasn't broken down. If this thing goes higher, oh my God. But, who knows? Now, if there's a software company to short, I think now is it. We know about Oklo with the signal there. Oracle. Huge box breakout here. And now I put it on this list because of this pink bar here. But it's been volatile. It's gone sideways. So I'm going to take this one off. Oracle still looks good, but volatile. We'll put it in watching. PI. Big box breakout here. Signal here. Yet it's gone higher. We'll leave this on for another week and then take it off. Ferrari, the consumer, look at that, went from 500 to 400 in the blink of an eye. Now, buyers here defended the bottom of the box. Look at that with the green. But the factors which caused it to go from here to here aren't going away soon. So I probably would expect this to keep going farther down. But yeah, man, rich people aren't buying Ferraris. I don't get it. Roblox, this should come off the list. There's the bearish signal, what put it on this list. A muted inside bar reaction, and then a bullish resolution higher. I'll change this to bullish. I won a bet with a hedge fund manager about which would do better, Roblox or Tesla. I chose Roblox. He chose Tesla. And I'm winning a lunch. Am I better than professional hedge fund managers? Well, my system works really well at interpretation. Let's put it that way. Rubric, box breakdown here. Yeah, sure, some buyers stepped up, but how confident would you be if you stepped up? Yeah, it looks like it's giving it up. Reddit, breakout and then gave it all back and broke the box, negative. RGTI, we know about that signal. We'll see if it does that. Rocket, there's that right there. I had traded Rocket in here. I love the idea of lower rates. I bought it here, sold it up here, and now it's putting in a 50-50 inside bar. Maybe it's time to buy it again, especially if rates are coming down. But you know, I want a bigger signal, but I put an alert on Rocket. In fact, here's what I do. Let's just put an alert. Set an alert, a price alert. We'll put it for 17. And then let's do another alert for 17 and a quarter. So if these start going off, and then we'll do 17.50. If these all start going off, yeah, man, I'll grab my phone. I'll just slam a buy order in if I need to, if I'm busy. Because you see ping, ping, ping. It probably just got a little too ahead of itself. That selling might have been a bit much. Gets rid of all the skeptics. This could pop right back up to 21 faster than it went up beforehand because all those buyers are gone. All the sellers are gone. Root breakdown here going up. Remember how insurance is not looking so good? Well, here's an insurance company. This buy now pay later. Ugh. Just what? How awful. Maybe this should be a short. Shark Ninja with tariffs not looking so hot. Shark Ninja was fantastic earlier in its career. But now things may have changed. And we're almost done. The Stinger. Yeah, look at that. Nothing there. Tesla. I stupidly sold Tesla up in here, but now I might have to be buying it again. That's an inside bar. It's what happens when you get gap ups. You think you did the right thing on Friday, and then doink, no, you're wrong. But the volume was lower. And let's see. And then the volume was lower, and there's no real signals on the daily, so I don't feel so bad about it. But yeah, we may still need to put it back on again. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, and by the way, Tesla has earnings coming up soon, so maybe we got to wait, you know. Upstart, down. Automotive sector is a mess. Vert, ugh, look at that, not looking so good. VST, I thought electric power, everybody wanted it. Well, VST keeps getting rejected at 210 or so. And that's it. So that's pretty much I got for the video. Took like an hour. I hope you guys got some good ideas and see how I do things. And that's my breakdown of the market. We're definitely bullish, but there's a good chunk of stuff there which, you know, I don't think you'd want to buy. So my opinion is we're gonna have some mixed sessions the next couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. By the way, I've got other stocks on the other lists which I keep an eye on, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Number one, keeping an eye on PLTR, sideways box. Is it going to ramp or just go back down? I don't know, but it's doing fine. So we'll see. All right. I hope you guys all have a great week and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.